Hello, future millionaires. This is Aztec and this is the CSE. Thank you so much for being here. Because you're here, I'm going to go ahead and tell you some of my secrets, some of my insight into the altcoin market. I'm extremely bullish on alts, and I'm going to break this down by showing you some key charts that really give us an overall idea on why alts are going to do so well. So I'm going to go ahead and tell a story with some charts in a very short second here. But before we do that, I want to go ahead and tell you that you have to subscribe to my channel, because recently, I've posted some videos about why I'm so bullish on Q4 and some of the projects that are in my portfolio. Also, I have this video here, Bitcoin altcoins in the fourth industrial revolution. This is a video that you can share with your friends and family. It tells them why Bitcoin and the crypto sphere is going to take off, especially towards the end of this year and next year as well. So definitely some videos that you have to take a look at if you're a Matic fan, or if you're interested in any of these altcoins that are showing in my picture here. These are things that I hold personally. And if you're interested in these things, you have to subscribe. So anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at this chart here. This is the beginning of the story. So what we're looking at, it looks crazy. It's just a straight line. It's just going up. And as you see, this is the M2 money stock chart. Basically, it is the printer. It is the printer. It's the Fed's printer. It goes BRRR, and it's been going BRRR and printing more dollars since forever. This chart goes all the way back to the 80s. This is a weekly chart, and if we zoom in, I did do a line chart just to show you. So this top blue line is the circulating supply of dollars that are basically in supply due to the printer. And as you can see, since March, we have been printing more dollars than we have ever printed before. Now, this is extremely important, because we have to understand that this is why I'm so bullish on, let's say, the stock market, assets in general, cryptocurrencies, gold and silver, because as the value, or I would say as the printer goes BRRR and more dollars are printed and the circulating supply of dollars is increasing, the value of those dollars comes down. Now, I do want to clarify, I'm not saying that I think that the dollar is going to crash, because if you look at, a lot of people say, oh, there's, if we look at the US balance sheet, there's trillions of dollars on that balance sheet, and that's unhealthy. Well, if you were to take a look at other countries' balance sheets, like the Euro countries' balance sheet, their balance sheet has quadrillions of dollars on it. So, versus our trillions of dollars, the dollar is still strong. The dollar is still stronger, and that's why it's the world reserve currency. Now, I know I'm digressing. Let's get back to the story. The dollar is still strong, but the value is coming down. And so we can see here in March, we've been printing more dollars than we ever have. It's just exploded, the amount of dollars that have been printed. So since March, you can see at the bottom of the screen right there, that little gray indicator showing, March. Since March, it's been going up. And we can take a look at the dollar value here. And since March, we can see that we've been moving down sideways. So that basically is proving what I'm saying. As we print more dollars, the value of the dollar is coming down. Okay, so since we know that, if the value of the dollar is coming down, that means that assets are more likely going to do better, because the value of the dollar is going down, meaning the value of these assets, there's going to be more dollars that are going to be needed to pay for assets. Like, for instance, stocks, you could have gold and silver as an example, and of course cryptocurrency, because it is an asset. And, to prove my point, if we take a look at Bitcoin, if we take a look here, since March, we've been moving up. So What this means is more dollars being printed, value of the dollar does go down, but assets go up. Specifically Bitcoin, and this is why I'm so bullish, because now I'm going to bring in the presidential candidates here. My channel is not here to discuss policies and things like that. I want to leave that out because I'm sure people and everyone here has had too much of all of the politics and all of those things. So let's keep it simple. Basically, in my opinion, I don't think either way, whether Trump or Biden would have been elected, that we would see a deep crash in the markets, because both of them wanted to print more dollars. For instance, Trump said, we're going to print more, we're going to do stimulus, after the elections. And of course, Biden and the Dems wanted to do more stimulus as well. So basically, more stimulus, more printing equals, the dollar's value going down, but assets going up. So either way, basically, I would project that, if they're going to print more dollars, that Bitcoin is going to do well. Now, one takeaway from that, though, is that we have to realize that the Dems want to do more stimulus than the Republicans. And, I'm not here to say that that's right or wrong. It's just, important to note, because if, it looks like Biden is going to win, if the Dems do take this, they're wanting to print a lot more, trillions of dollars more than the Republicans, which means there's going to be more stimulus, and that kind of course, as we can see, interprets to Bitcoin doing that much better. But that's just my take on it. Of course, nothing I say here, guys, is financial advice. You guys have to realize down below. I always post it, not financial advice. You guys have to realize that this is not financial advice. This is just my opinion. So, okay, so we know that what we're projected to see is more stimulus, meaning Bitcoin's going to do well. Cryptocurrency is going to do well, in my opinion. So, what's interesting is that we have a lot of extremely bullish sentiment that's coming towards the beginning of next year for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency in general, because as money pours into the cryptocurrency world, that kind of diversifies and goes into all of the cryptocurrency, the market cap of cryptocurrency in total. But you have PayPal coming, and you have all these big players jumping into Bitcoin, and of course that's just going to make the market even more speculative and more interesting, and more money, in my opinion, it's going to come into the markets. That's why I'm so bullish on this space. But in general, let's go ahead and talk about from here to the end of the year. Why am I bullish on altcoins? Especially because Bitcoin has been the big what everyone's been talking about. Everyone's saying Bitcoin's going to go to 20K. Okay, it could. But I really think, in my opinion, it stays around 16K, maybe kind of goes down sideways from 16K and stays in this range because of this chart. So we're going to look at the Bitcoin dominance chart. And as you can see here, we'll go ahead and take a look at some candlesticks. So we're going to move from the line. We're going to go to regular candlesticks, because this gives us a more clean view of what I'm going to talk about. So basically, this is the dominance. So this is Bitcoin's dominance to the other coins in the market, so the altcoins. So Bitcoin is more dominant than the altcoins. So in this case here, what you can see is that we've been the dominance of Bitcoin has been moving up, and this is because there's so much positive sentiment towards Bitcoin right now, and because Bitcoin is rocketing. So as Bitcoin rockets up, people are moving money from altcoins and from other places, maybe stable coins, and taking US dollars and putting it into Bitcoin's market cap. So as that happens, the dominance is growing, because there's the market cap of Bitcoin is larger than the altcoins. So you can see that the dominance has been growing. But if we were to kind of take a look at this from a technical point, you can see that, you know, we've come up here, we've rejected off this trend line, we were rejected here, we were rejected here, and it looks like we're getting rejected here again. And you can see there's this large wick. We weren't able to break above this white trend line. You also have the 200 weekly moving average above here. So there's a lot of resistance for the dominance of Bitcoin, meaning Bitcoin may just move down sideways. It doesn't have to crash or correct too hard. But you know, I imagine that it does move down sideways because the resistance is very strong. Maybe we take a small correction here in the dominance. And what we have to note is that every time the dominance takes a correction for Bitcoin, that gives altcoins the power to move up. So let's go ahead and just recap. We have potentially more dollars going to be printed because you have, looks like Biden's going to be the president. So if you have Biden as a president, that means even more dollars are going to be printed. Value of the dollar will kind of go down, of course, but assets are going to go up. Now, specifically, we look at Bitcoin's dominance and we see, well, its dominance might kind of go sideways, and but still, it's bullish for Bitcoin overall. But it's extremely bullish right now for altcoins, in my opinion, because Bitcoin is going to probably take a little break on being the main star here, and that's going to let altcoins run. So let's go ahead and take a look at one of my favorite altcoins, and we're going to take a look at Matic. Now, a lot of people have been wanting to know my thoughts on this chart, and I think I have some things that you probably have not seen. So this is just one altcoin out there. There's plenty of other altcoins, especially in my portfolio, but this is an example of a very bullish altcoin. Of course, you guys have to understand I'm invested in this, so I'm slightly emotional to some point. It's not all facts here, for me, of course, but I always try to stay extremely non-emotional and just present myself the facts. So I'm really speaking to myself here. This is not financial advice. I am invested in Matic. But, if we look at this technically, we have recently bounced off an extremely powerful support line here. And as you can see, this was the inception of the Matic Chart. We came all the way up to, around a little over 4 cents back in December of 2019, and we slowly corrected back down to this trend line. This is where we set this trend line. We bounced heavily off this point. We came up here recently to a little over 3 cents, and we corrected down to this line again. Now this is so bullish to me because this trend line is goes all the way back to the inception of Matic, when it was listed on Binance as an IEO. So there's a lot of support right down here in this area, and if we zoom out just a little, let's go to a daily chart. Yeah, here we go. We can really take a look at this little area here. This is very interesting because if altcoins are going to do well, and Matic has seen a nice little bottom, and it's hit a very, very strong support, that gives the asset room to grow theoretically, right? This is not financial advice, and there's a lot of different projects that have very similar charts. But for Matic, you see that there was a descending wedge here. So this line here and this line, you can see here. Actually, what I'll do is so basically this descending wedge here, you can see it's been ping-ponging within it for a long while, basically since August, and we've moved down and we broke underneath it here. We actually bounced off this major support here and came back up within the descending wedge. Descending wedge patterns are always generally more bullish than anything. So what is even more bullish though with a descending wedge is when you break underneath it and then you move back through it. And so 2 points here, we we hit major support down here. We also created this pattern here, which is a descending wedge. We broke underneath it and then broke up above it, which is extremely bullish, generally speaking. Of course, not financial advice. And what this indicates to me is that, you know, if you were to take just the overall sentiment here, you know, it looks like we have major support in that we would have, you know, a launching point here. So I'm not going to get too speculative on price and things like that because, you know, I do work with the project and I don't want to, you know, go too far. I just want to kind of give you an idea of my overall, you know, point of altcoins having, you know, a really good chance at this time, just overall, but also, you know, specific altcoins like Matic. So this is very interesting. I would say definitely take a look at this chart for yourself. I don't want to go too far into this, but what you can see is that altcoins basically look very good overall because of these charts. Now let's go ahead and take a look at just some of the fundamentals here. So recently we had this tweet here, and it says, in the last 24 hours, Polymarket generated the fourth most fees of any crypto project behind only BTC, Ethereum, and Uni. So this is Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Uniswap token. And what's very interesting is that he also said, after only 3 weeks live on layer 2 being Matic, congrats to this would be the liquidity providers who earned these fees for facilitating accurate price discovery, no token, no yield farming, just product market fit. Essentially what he's pointing out is that this dApp on the Matic network is doing so well. It's a predictions type market, and the fees that have been generated via, you know, the market itself were so much that it was the fourth most highest generating you know, project, you could say. So this is very bullish, because the reason I want to point this out is because Matic is receiving a lot of adoption here. This is just important to look at. I'm going to go ahead and beat this point in because, you know, we already looked at the technicals. We see that altcoins are going to do good in general, you know, projected, but also fundamentals look great for projects, you know, altcoins like the Matic network specifically. This is huge, guys, very huge to see, you know, projects like Polymarket on the Matic network doing so well that Vitalik, you know, a lot of people have been, you know, they've been questioning, why hasn't Vitalik mentioned Matic network? You know, it's just doing so well, and, you know, Vitalik's talking about other layer 2s and not really mentioning, you know, Matic network. Well, Matic network's always been on Vitalik's radar. I truly believe that, but it's always nice to see that he talks about it. And you know, basically here he's saying, trying out Polymarket now. It's unique in that it lives directly on the Matic network, an Ethereum sidechain, and its UI is optimized for attracting users from outside crypto. It has a buy USDC with a credit card interface, and it uses the Magic Link login service. So it looks like he's kind of, you know, saying, hey, look at the Magic Link, but it is awesome to see that he is pointing out that there is adoption on the Matic network, and he's kind of throwing the Matic network out there saying, hey, look at it, you know, look at this. And this is extremely bullish because, you know, there's so much bullish sentiment and positive adoption that's going on that even Vitalik is awed, you know, by what is going on. So this is huge. If you don't know Vitalik, you know, he is the main guy behind Ethereum, and Ethereum is the #2 cryptocurrency in, you know, all of the cryptocurrency world. So very bullish for Matic. Also, you know, there's a lot of amazing things happening. For instance, Decentraland says, or Matic saying this, but it's about Decentraland. It says Decentraland's NFT wearables are coming to Matic network. Minting and trading of wearables will be powered by Matic's high-speed, low-fee infrastructure. Wearables enable players to customize the appearance of their avatars, allowing users to express themselves. This is just awesome to see because, It's not just prediction markets. It's not just DeFi. It's gaming that's taking off on the Matic Network's platform, the mainnet. This is huge. Adoption is exploding, and big projects like Decentraland, big old known projects are using the Matic Network. This is extremely bullish for the Matic Network. Also, this is a newer dApp on the Matic mainnet. This is SportX. They recently tweeted, SportX is excited to be a part of the Matic network along with cool projects like QuickSwap DEX. That's my favorite DEX on the Matic mainnet. And EasyFi network. This is another DeFi protocol. I've made videos on EasyFi. I really love the protocol as well with their under collateralized lending that it should be coming, in the future. But basically, SportX is saying that $70,000 worth of DAI and ETH has been bet on sports and politics and sport.bex at sportx.bet so far today, with users paying a grand total of $0 in gas fees. So if adoption, guys. They're not even having to pay gas fees using layer 2, using this dApp SportX, and a ton of volume is coming into these type of projects. So this is amazing to see. This is just more adoption. I honestly see that this just continues to go because layer 2, after you get used to using it and getting on layer 2, you really just gives you a lot of freedom to be able to use applications at a very low cost and or free, and do everything extremely fast. So this really is the future, in my opinion. Now that's Matic. I've showed you the chart. I showed you there's a lot of adoption. I made this video recently that outlines some very key things that may be happening for Matic in the near future, along with other projects. So definitely something to look at, guys. Again, this video here, I just have to point it out. You guys have to take a look at it and share it with friends and family. It's it's basically explaining why the market is so bullish going into 2021. But another project here that I'm extremely interested in, you guys know this, is the UniLend. Now, they have the token UFT, but which has an extremely small market cap, so has a lot of room to grow. Of course, it's not financial advice. DeFi is very speculative. It's very risky in a lot of cases, but it is something that I'm invested in because, I see, in my opinion, so much the risk reward, is very good, especially with a DeFi project that, again, so just to clarify, this is a layer 1 project that's on Ethereum. It's not on L2. It's not on the Matic network. So it has its own uniqueness, being that it's going to be able to compete with DeFi projects on layer 1. And if you've looked at some of my videos recently, I kind of break down the general consensus of why it would be overall better than a lot of the other DeFi projects when it comes out. Now, what I think is awesome, though, is that UniLend is going out guns blazing. They're not, just saying, I'm going to be better than the other protocols on the market. They're also making these DeFi dissected articles, and they are comparing themselves as a protocol against other DeFi, decentralized finance projects, major DeFi protocol projects on the market already. And what that shows me is that UniLend really wants to be a contender. Now, they're doing this respectfully, but they are being very factual. And recently, they've already come out with 2 comparisons, one being with UniLend and Compound, as you can see here, and the other being between UniLend and Balancer. And Balancer is actually a really interesting project, but you can see here from this GIF that UniLend will be projected to have many more capabilities, and this is not even talking about everything. I mean, there's a lot more to come. I can't talk about everything, but UniLend really will be a one-stop shop, and these articles explain why. I would definitely recommend reading these articles if you're interested in UniLend, decentralized finance, especially layer 1 DeFi projects as they come. This would be my most this would be the DeFi project I'm most interested in on layer 1. Now for layer 2, there's many different projects. I really like QuickSwap as a as a protocol, but that has its own value propositions, and it is on layer 2, so it's just different. So there is a lot to look at, but I would say to start, you got to take a look at these articles. They really explain why UniLend has a very large fighting chance at being the #1 contender for DeFi on layer 1. Anyways, guys, tell me what you think. Do you guys think that overall that the markets are going to do well? Do you think that there's going to be some type of black swan type event? Maybe where there's an upset in the presidential election? Do you think that the markets are going to do well? Are they going to correct? Let me know what you think down below. Let me know if you find this kind of information interesting. Of course, I want to be true to myself and cover it because this YouTube channel is really all my opinion. I'm doing this for myself mainly, and I have to cover projects that I'm most interested in, but I always want to make sure and know if you guys are interested in what I'm covering. So please let me know, and be safe out there, and hopefully you're looking at cryptocurrencies, because I think cryptocurrencies are going to do extremely well. I think projects, altcoin projects are going to do extremely well in the near future. That's just my opinion, not financial advice. Never give up on the future of money. Take it easy, guys.